I've never known him or spoken to him before a week ago today. I just have an awful lot of respect. I got a chance to learn about his program. I think it's not only a fantastic football program, that speaks for itself, but I've gained an immense amount of respect for the way they do things, and I'm a big believer in easy is a four-letter word in today's society, and it's not our job as coaches or parents or leaders of men to work for the easy, but to work for the worthy. And I think his program does that. And to be frank with you, I think our world needs more programs like his program and like our program.
So Glenn, they were giving up less than a game. You got 38, scoring 41 a game.
Right.
Talk about maybe what your plan was going in and both offense.
Well, it doesn't always follow the plan that I want throughout a game, right? That's why you have different levels and layers of game plans. But this one was very similar to the way I could see it unfolding. Tough and physical, but also more importantly, mentally tough. And we knew that, as trite as it might seem for a coach to say it, it was going to be a four-quarter game because they're an Elite Eight team for a reason, and it's not just for athleticism. And for us to get out to a 17-0 lead, I think that was great. I mean, that's not really our goal to always be in front. I mean, we understand we'd love to be out in front of every game, but we also know that doesn't always happen that way. But I do think that the way that the defense slowed down their run game and the way that the special teams added, and it wasn't just the big punt return, that was certainly huge, but allowed our offense more time to figure things out, which apparently we needed because they played very, very well. And I do think that score right before the half was probably the tipping point of the game. That gives a 17-point lead, which is big in our program, 3-score lead, but just the manner in which the offense went down the field and utilized every second of that clock, I think, was absolutely enormous. It was a well-executed drive.
How much did you were certainly talking to the rest, but there was no way you're going to sway them on the nullified touchdown because it looked like it was a touchdown. He took 2 steps, fell on the ground.
I mean, that's what I thought. You're talking to the coach of the team that it didn't go his way, so right. I'll wait to watch. But I mean, I don't have the view that they have, and that crew is awesome. I mean, that's a very, very, very impressive crew that has officiated in the biggest of games throughout many years. And no, I wasn't going to sway them. Doesn't mean I'm not going to argue if I thought. But in the end, I absolutely trust what they saw. They had a much better line of sight than I ever did. That's from Bob Sansevier, not Glenn Caruso, but those are his words, not mine.
Oh yeah, I'd definitely say that they were up there. They just come to play every single down, and obviously they're physically fit, but mentally, what their coaches tell them, they're really impressive. So in our game plan this week, we just knew we had to bring it every play.
Yeah, I agree with Nick totally. They had DBs that came up and filled the holes hard and made some plays in the run game, and the linebackers and D-line had a lot of hustle, didn't ever quit or give up on it. So, yeah, it was definitely one of the more physical and tougher defenses we've seen all year.
Nick, talk about the punt return. You come close to busting a couple this
year. Yeah, right. It was just phenomenally drawn up. I just trust my players or my teammates and my coaches to do what's best for the team, and the call was great. And as a punt returner, I mean, you're kind of hanging out there, and you really have to trust your teammates when you're kind of just hanging out in space to make the play. So a hold opened up in front of me, I just took it. So at that point, you just have to be confident in what your abilities are and finish the play.
Was that was, I mean, the play was called, but you had the option to just put it down and let him kick it, or was it going to be a run all the way?
That one was a little bit of a read, but definitely a good run call. Yeah, we practiced that good amount and had a good call on it and worked out for us.
Also, your status of your quarterback that he just came out with such a big lead.
Yeah, Johnny's as healthy as they get, but we're in the third quarter, and I don't know what the lead was. Third. Yeah, so he went out at 31, and we just felt like that's these guys practice hard all week long, and we had all of our backups, and thank you, all of our backups in the third quarter, and I was really happy about that. And whatever threes we could take, limited by obviously the playoff roster, we were able to play as well.
What about Jordan's status?
Same thing. Him and Ryan Bradley were good to go if we needed him back then, but we just, this time of year, every rep, every hit you can save off of a body goes a long way, and that was one of the game plans if we were fortunate enough for the game to go our way, and it did. But they're both good to go. Mm-hmm. No, we're not.
The result of something you see in the formation, is it just something that got instinct, or you just trust yourself to be able to make those plays if something doesn't work out?
Yes, yes, and yes. Absolutely. I mean, those are all legitimate. Yes to all three, which is why, look, I know a lot of people say they're risky. Good football is good football. I don't believe that there's trick plays. If there's leverage points and opportunities that we can take advantage of, we do that. And that's why we are who we are, players as individuals and coaches as coaches. So I really did feel like that. The drive of the game was probably the one right before half, but I thought the play of the game offensively was that fake field goal. And it wasn't, I mean, shoot, it was, Chuck, correct me if I'm wrong, probably like a 4th and 10, so it wasn't like a 4th and 2. We really had to trust it. But when a team overreacts to something that was seen on film based on something that happened last week, you can't, in my opinion, you can't allow that to happen. And then the onside kick was one that we absolutely didn't expect to be able to execute based on what we saw on film. But both of those plays, they completely changed from alignments from what we saw. And I'm real happy that you have a menu and it's accessible within your players' teaching to get that. And both of those were executed beautifully. And, you got a guy like Sean Charlew. Sean's never in these meetings. Sean is a backup guard, but he does a phenomenal job on his field goal PATs. That's his role. That's what he does, and he does it well. Paul Graupner gets to run out there, I don't know maybe 8 times a game. That's his role. That's life. And he does it really, really well. That kick was a thing of beauty, though.
Glenn, obviously, you've known since you got into coaching, you want your team to get better each week at this time of year, peak at the right time. Is the progression where you want it to be?
Without a doubt. Without it. And if you've been in here before, which you have, you know that I'm hard-pressed to say that. But the answer is yes. It's right where we want it to be and right where we need it to be this time of year, physically, with our health, emotionally with our balance, and mentally with our thoughtfulness. Really happy with that.
For any of the players, what boosts does that provide to the entire team as a unit? When you get those types of plays from your special teams unit, I think you have at least 5 days.
Well, I mean, it's huge, especially, the first touchdown of the game being a punt return. That's really a big boost. So, you expect the offense to score all game long, but when you can get extra points off of special teams, and you can get punt returns and kick returns and big plays to put your offense in good situations to make plays on top of that, that's really a big boost for the team.
Yeah, just echoing on that, it gives everybody a boost in confidence, and it sets us up to do what we want on defense and on offense as well.
Obviously starts to move back when you get to the second most number. So how hard was it to stop him getting that?
Well, yeah, he's a great back. He's big, physical. Reminds me a lot of Sam Sura from last week. So going into the game, we, felt that we were pretty well prepared just because we had prepared for Sam in a similar manner. So, the coaches kind of drew up a good game plan for how to attack him, and we just executed it.
For any player or Glenn, what does it tell you about your team that you just beat a team 38-7 that have been averaging over 41 points a game and allowing fewer than 10?
It tells us that when we perform our abilities, that we're pretty dynamic. And as I've said many times, being dynamic as a team means you can win a game in many ways. Today, everything had to chip in. It wasn't just offense, it wasn't just defense, it wasn't just special teams. And all 3 phases are really performing well and flowing sequentially off each other. I think today it might not have been the prettiest win in the world, although, to win by 31 in the regional championship, I know it looks good, but it wasn't maybe the prettiest. But all 3 phases flowed sequentially off of the other. And, leave it at that.
Yeah, he was. It was a focus on our defense to tackle low and drive our feet on contact, and I think we did a great job of that. And the weeks prior, we been saying the same thing. So it was tough. The biggest back we've seen. He runs hard. He's shifty too. So yeah, just tackling low and driving our feet was huge.
Sarah last week, Sarah this week, some of the better backs in the country. Do you guys kind of look forward to those challenges as a defense?
Definitely, definitely. When we see a running back coming in with over 100 yards a game, we definitely want to stop him and get below that.
How important has it to have been to the national championship game, knowing what these next 2 weeks could bring, and not having the players looking beyond? You're so close. You still have to play one more.
It is huge. The experience is tough to even quantify. It's a big one. And the fact that that experience has been had by the guys that are sitting here, it's not something that the coach experienced 6 years ago. I mean, we have 26 seniors right now, and those were guys that played, many of them, 12 of them played in that national championship game as freshmen or a sophomore in one situation. So it doesn't entitle us to anything. We always believe that our experience does give us a pretty good benchmark of if we want to be at this level, how hard we have to work. But it also forces you to focus, because there have been other years where we haven't made as deep a run, and you're left there with a bad taste in your mouth, so to speak. But at this point, it's truly fighting. I mean, we have a whole bunch of goals in that locker room. We were able to cross another one off today. And there's only one left, but that one is not going to be accomplished simply next week. We have to worry about whatever team is coming here next week is going to be really good. I don't know if it's Mary Hardin Baylor. I don't know if it's Linfield. Both are really awesome. They're playing right now. It's not even halftime, but both are really, really good.
What's the difference between the 12 team and this one? The big difference, and where is this one better than that?
I'm sorry, can you repeat
What's
the
difference
12?
between your champion, the team that went to the final,
Got it.
and this one, and where is this team better than that?
So this team is deeper than that team was, without a doubt. I mean, those seniors now were freshmen, and usually you don't play with that many freshmen in a national championship game, but we had a myriad of injuries that year. So this team is deeper than that one and more experienced than that one, which means it's healthier than that one, and I think that's very, very important. This team, I've said it now 3 out of the last 4 weeks, it might not have all of the high statistical marquee names that 12 team had. I mean, there were some names on there, and they were all out there. Guys like Iowa Du and Shinioji, and I mean, guys that had garnered a lot of awards, I guess, for lack of a better term. Not like we care much about that. But this one is more acutely focused on their role, and everyone's role is different. My role is different than his role is different than his role. It's all different, and whatever that role is that they have to perform for this university, they're doing it to the best of their ability, and I think that's how we're a little bit different. Very segmented to 1 week at a time, and I'm happy about that. I will tell you a similarity. And a similarity is the blessing of what we saw today, and I think that's the MIAC, and that's our league. Everything prepares us for moments in life. Sometimes it prepares us well. Sometimes it doesn't prepare us well. But I will say, in addition to all this hard work that these guys have put in, and all of the work that our coaching staff, who is so amazing, puts in, our league has also helped raise this football team. And I think our league and the MIAC in general was a winning edge today, and I'm grateful for that.
Anthony, does it stick at all that you gave up, the team gave up a touchdown? So I think your twos were in there after they scored. But a shutout, I guess, in the quarterfinals would have been nice. Does it matter when you win 38-7?
It would have been nice to shut them out, but our twos are great as well. We're, like Coach said, we're really deep, so putting up a 31-point victory isn't bad at all.
Charlie, when you guys are some of the first game involved in special teams, like super fakes, things like that, does that get you guys more excited about playing? In that phase of the game?
Yeah, I mean, it definitely gives us some energy that we otherwise might not get if we just kick it deep or punt it deep. It changes the game. And it can really break down the other team too if we're successful on it, because they're not expecting it and they think they're getting off the field, the defense or their offense. But yeah, I mean, it just really swings momentum for us in our favor, which is fun.
Can I add to that? It's real easy, again, that 4-letter word, to look at the successful plays on those riskier, however you want to say it, plays and say, well, does that light you up and get you fired up? Yes. But I'll tell you as a coach, one of the reasons why you know, to your point, one of the reasons why you know that you can make those calls is because they're not all going to go our way. We understand that, especially this time of year. But when they don't, and we don't convert on that specific play, we have supreme confidence that whatever group, offense, defense, is going to go back on the field will mitigate that failure and get us back on track. So that's one of the reasons why you can make that play, and truthfully, one of the reasons why it's not as risky to me as it might seem to you guys.
Charlie, was one touchdown more fun or enjoyable than the other?
No, any touchdown is. I'll take any touchdown. Yeah, any sort of points to get on the board, I'm happy with. So, like Coach said, I mean, it's not really a trick play if you have confidence in it and you just better leverage. There's no better word for it, but yeah, points are points for us. We'll take them.
Every touchdown in your career better than any water polo points you scored?
I had a few more water polo points than I did touchdowns in my life, so I don't know. Water polo is fun too, but right now I'm all about the touchdowns. Yeah.
Coach Caruso, with all the things you guys do in the special teams game, how much do you think that gives opposing coaches to think about? I know they had to run at least one timeout where they, you had that set up where it looked like it might be a short punt, and then they had a guy back, and they didn't like that.
Yeah, that was my most fun part of the game, that little 3-play exchange. And, I enjoy human psychology even more than I enjoy football. And in our little petri dish that you saw out there today, that's how I look at it. That was probably the most enjoyable moment of how if your players understand what you're doing and you do things at the appropriate time, how you can sway emotions with actions, even though they're not your own. That fires me up. And that whole swap out and re-swap and then the play to pick up the first down and the fake field goal, that was the most fun I've personally had all year. We don't talk about having fun personally, but if you're going to push me, that was a blast.
Coach, you mentioned at the beginning what you learned from Wabash. I know you learn more and more about the game as the regular season goes on. But in these last 4 weeks, have you learned something else about this team, and what has it shown?
They can handle adversity. Now, you might be looking at me and say, hold on, man, you scored 50, you won by 50 in the first one, you beat your rival in the second, you won by 30 in this one, but still, adversity is relative, and so when you're used to operating in one manner, and all of a sudden that manner is choked off, and you basically have to learn how to adapt and win other ways, that helps us grow, right? I think we can all look back to our failures or our shortcomings in life and realize that, and it showed me that our team is, I thought they were mentally tough before we hit these last 3 games, but it's brought it to a whole nother level. They can go toe-to-toe with any team in the country as far as toughness, both physical, but more importantly, mental.
Guys, have you guys seen the same thing being on the field? He sees it from the sidelines, but have you guys seen it firsthand?
Yeah, I'd like to add on that in addition to that, I mean, now that we're in the playoffs, a play can swing a game, and then a season could be over by either team. So during the regular season when the MIAC, I mean, it's also a very good competition, but you don't see the finite play aspect of it. I mean, games come down to the final minute. They're very important plays to be made, but I think that our team has shown that down the course of the game, we can end up, how should I say it, we can finish even though there's finite opportunities to do it. And the playoffs will show that teams are changing and different, but the playoffs will really test everyone's mental toughness because the plays are just, there's not many to be played,
For you, the defensive guys, with how you guys have played really all year, has performances today almost become the standard for you guys that you look for every week?
Yeah, I think so. We just come out and try and be us, the best us as we can be every week. So whatever the offense that's coming in, I feel like they should have to prepare for us because we set the standard around here.
And then just a quick thing. How old were you when you realized you don't have to live up to what your dad did or what your brother did? High school or before
Yeah,
getting here?
it was definitely in high school I learned that. It's nice sometimes, but it gets old sometimes as well. So there's good and bad.
To answer that previous one, our goal coming into every game is to hold the opposing offense to 0 points. And Coach Kaczynski stresses that not every player has to play the best game of their lives. Every player just needs to play well. And when we're able to go out there and every player plays well, it's really fun to watch and fun to be a part of. So it has become the standard, I'd say.
Chuck, I kind of talked to Ryan about it this past week about how their stingy run defense kind of opens up the passing game. Did you see that today?
Yeah, I mean, we had a couple nice pass shots there, and I said earlier that their safeties and DBs like to fill in the run game, so they're aggressive, and there's some stuff open up for us. And today we had 4 guys running the ball who were all threats to break some big runs, so that helps out a lot and puts guys in the box that otherwise wouldn't be there and opens up the pass game for us, definitely.
Thanks, Coach.
Guys, the coverage has been just unbelievable these last couple weeks, and thank you so much for doing. I know there's no one else besides the Vikes playing football in this state, so I know you have to get your football fix right now with us, but we're just grateful that you guys have come here and pay attention to it, so thank you.